Yeah, we should be live right now.
All right.
Should be doesn't mean we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Did she leave her charger here? No.
So he had to go to South Carolina to Florida. Is that what he said?
Who?
South Carolina. This show that Sarah's watching is called Shipping Wars, I think is what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Alright. So now we need to share.
Yes. Now, what's this episode going to be entitled? Another Harvick Dominic?
We're Harvicking again.
Or Harvicking again, nice.
When you go out to MIS, I'm going to give you the podcast account password
Yeah.
and all that. This way you can post pictures and all that.
All right. Somebody playing the drums outside?
No, I heard a motorcycle.
Oh, it was a motorcycle. It sounded like drums at first.
Why is this not showing up? Excuse me.
Hey, all right.
Oh boy. Boy, oh boy.
What's that?
Just getting this all started.
Gotcha.
I wish I could, like, press a button and it just posts everywhere. Who did you pick for the race last week?
At Dover?
Yeah.
Jimmy. And then my surprise, or my upset was, damn, who was my upset? I forgot who my upset was. But I got a good one today, so.
Alright. I think once we post it on Facebook and all that, we'll be good to go.
All right.
I'm going to start just a little bit after 7:30 here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. So now I have like our actual chat box showing up.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah, I got mine. Yeah, I got mine on my phone right now.
Ooh, excuse me. That was good.
Yeah, no, I've just burped too. Yeah, I got my water. Okay, I got my water. Cool. Here, let me use the restroom before we are we getting ready to go live?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or let me. Yeah. All right, cool. I'll be back in a second.
Why did you do it in my face?
No, farted in my face.
No, you farted in my face. Sorry, jerk.
I love you.
Me too.
From the bathroom's got a comment, little delay. Once Ryan gets back, we'll go live October.
Podcast. I'm not kidding on the podcast.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's kick this thing off.
Let's start it.
If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 26 of the Loose Lugs podcast. I'm your host, AJ. With me, as always, is my co-host, Ryan. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there the best I can, AJ. Hopefully, we have a good show tonight, which I know we will. There's some things going on right now that going to keep a little private at this moment right now. A couple people know about it. So, but other than that, I can't complain, man.
Man, you had a busy weekend, though, Sunday night, right? You had the pay-per-view party.
Yeah, we had the first ever pay-per-view party over at the Rencola household. Yes, I'm calling it Rencola household. She's giving me a dirty look right now, guys. So, but yeah, we had some people over. We had Drew, Sean, Marsh, Sarah, Matt, their two children over. Our buddy Tom, who lives down the street, another friend of his came over, stopped by. Too bad the pay-per-view wasn't any good, but we still had a good time. And on Friday, I got the Galaxy S9.
Wow, stepping on up in the world.
Yes, kick-ass phone too, by the way.
So you're liking it so far? Yeah,
you're
sticking with Android though, because you've had an Android for a while, right?
Yeah, I've had an Android for a while since the S7.
Okay. So this is the new one, though. I mean,
Yeah, this
isn't this
is
the
brand
new
new.
one, or is there one newer than the S9?
Yeah, it's the brand new Samsung.
Okay, I gotcha. Gotta say, this weekend was pretty crappy on my end.
Yeah, what happened? Oh, yeah, I know why.
Yeah, as Tony just mentioned, AJ no Bruins gear this week. Smirks. Yeah, we had an unfortunate demise to the season.
Give credit to where credit's due. Tampa played a great series after Game 1. They found their legs.
It was like a wake-up call.
Exactly. Speaking of which, how about the Cleveland Cavaliers? What happened? Oh, they swept the #1 seed Raptors.
All right, no one cares about the Cavs.
Nobody in the chat room cares about the Cavs or said that they're going to sweep.
You don't count.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Tony.
All you LeBron haters or lovers or
whoa, back to up a lover. That's right, lover.
I can't stand LeBron.
I tell you what, man.
You know, I'm. All these people are talking about how the Celtics are already in the next round, but I still think you need to win the last one to get there.
Yeah,
making assumptions.
I think nowadays you only have to win 3 in order to advance. So you could be up 3-0 and lose the series still. Hey, they're still in the second or the finals.
You know, I guess because the stat is no team has ever come back from being down 0-3 in a best-of-7 series in the NBA, which is why they're all calling series over and everyone's looking forward to the Cavs. I mean, I think Cleveland moves on if that's the case. I would take Cleveland in 6. But I don't know. This Celtic team I thought would be out in the first round. So
without Kyrie, I thought so too. And just put in the group chat or the message board, "Go Capitals." How about that? The Washington Capitals in a thrilling overtime game last night.
How many playoff games did Ovechkin have without beating Sidney Crosby in a best-of-7 series?
Too many to count.
You know, I think it was 9 series total they played against the Caps, or they played against the Penguins, and this is the first time they finally eliminated them. That's crazy to think about.
That's insane. I think you remember we were in the Xbox Live chat, and I'm like, yeah, Penguins in 5, Penguins in 5. You know, Washington may get
Penguins in 4.
Yeah, you did say Penguins in 4. So yeah, if there's any Capitals fans on the message board right now or watching, we do apologize for underestimating your team. I think you understand why we did.
It's because of the history is what I was playing it by. You know, defending Stanley Cup winners too, back to back.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy that it finally happened.
Yes, it was. But when it happened, Sarah's like, "You woke me up when you were talking about, or you screamed at the goal and everything." I'm like, "Yeah, I did. I got into it."
Tony said Pens in 7. Well, that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Oops.
They got eliminated.
So Lightning Caps, who do you got?
I'm picking the Lightning the rest of the way. And, you know, real quick, I just want to say to those that watch that are Lightning fans, go into Game 1 and seeing the Bruins win, I guess the plus side is I saw the only game they won in the series. But going to Amalie Arena to watch a playoff game, to experience the fans, and yeah, I was wearing Bruins stuff and I got a ration of hell for it. Hockey belongs in Tampa. That fan base they have down there is incredible. They all show out. When you have the NHL calling you to say that your watch party is too big and is a fire hazard outside the arena,
oh wow,
you got some dedication right there. And to all the people that in the past have said, "Oh, hockey doesn't belong in the South, hockey doesn't belong in Tampa," total BS. And I hope the Lightning move on all the way because ultimately you'd rather lose and be eliminated by the Stanley Cup winner if you are to get out early. So,
good point. Good point.
I'm going to take Tampa in 6. I think Washington is going to be an easier matchup to them than Boston was, and I'm not saying that as a homer standpoint. I just think Washington and Pittsburgh both were subpar to what they've been playing at in the last couple of years, and I think Tampa's playing some of the best hockey I've seen around right now. They look like an eventual Stanley Cup winner. They have the right mix of youth and veterans.
Well, look, the team.
I mean, when you have Stamkos and Hedman being your core leadership, and then with additions like McDonough, Kucherov playing there has been amazing. You got guys like Strawman, but then you got like your grinder guys like Killorn and Palat, Ryan Callahan. I'm not a grinder in Ryan Callahan, but a guy who seems to always be in on every play.
There was an addition this year to the Tampa Bay team, I think, put him over the hump. And that's the addition of Chris Kunitz. Not a well-known name, but for the people that follow hockey, they know who he is. Oh, I do too, but still. Steve Yzerman, yes, the captain. That's who I'm cheering for, the Lightning, just because it is Steve Yzerman. Yeah, it'd be cool to see Ovi get his ring, get a ring in the Stanley Cup Finals. But I think it's going to be a good series. I think it's going to go 6 or 7.
I think for sure it's going to go at least 6, or I think at most 6. But
I think Tampa Bay
just said Tyler Johnson is another big guy there that I'm missing out of that.
Yes, he is. Oh, we're turning the Loose Lugs podcast into the Pucks podcast.
Another one, Tony, Yanni Gord. He always finds the puck. He's almost like Yanni Gord is kind of like their Brad Marchand in a sense. You know, he has a sense for the puck.
And just think too, they got rid of Ben Bishop for Vasilevsky, who they've believed in from the start. They're like, this guy's the bread and butter right here. This guy's the peanut butter jelly sandwich to Ben Bishop. And look what happened. Vasilevsky's had a great year. They're not there by mistake.
No, I think one of their best decisions they made in the last couple of years was getting rid of Bishop.
And now,
not that he wasn't a good goalie. You know, he was a great goalie for them at the time, but I think with the youth of Vasilevsky, it's very fitting for him.
Exactly.
So I'm taking the Lightning to win it all.
All right. I'd like to see Lightning Jets Stanley Cup final. That'd be pretty good. Last night. Oops.
Tony, I did know that. Tony just said, did you know the Lightning are the only team left in the playoffs who won a cup in franchise history? I did know that because thinking about it last night, looking at the teams that were left, I had thought about that. So. What
about the Vegas Golden Knights? They've been around for a few years. That team down there.
Yeah, the team has had lifelong fans.
Yep, lifelong. We know a couple of them lifelong fans.
Yeah. Freaking bandwagoner.
Oh, man. So AJ, the weekend that was at Dover.
The weekend that was Dover. You know what? Let's get right into gas and go here. We'll break it down. All right, so this was an odd weekend in Dover, Ryan, because this was a weekend where it seemed like the lower divisions out-entertained the Cup side of it.
Oh, by a long shot. The race Saturday was, I say, top 2 or 3 races of the year so far. For me personally, from a personal standpoint.
You know, we're going to go over the truck race first. We had the Capital Truck Series at Dover. All series were at Dover. And I thought the Dover truck race was the best race of the weekend.
Oh, the passing Sauter, Gregson for the win, bumping and banging off each other. That's why I liked it. I'm not going to mention about Stuart Friesen. Thank you, Pat O'Neill.
Who won that one? Who won that one?
Johnny Sauter. Got the Johnny Sauter boot. I got my Houghton Lake shirt on, represent Houghton Lake.
Oh, man. So, there was no Cup guys in this race, which added to the entertainment factor of it. Johnny's... Go ahead.
No, without both races, Xfinity and truck, no Cup guys.
No Cup guys, and that, I'm telling you, these lower series need to eliminate Cup drivers from it because there is more entertaining racing, and you know what? This weekend, there was no Cup guys in either truck or Xfinity race. I saw the biggest crowds for both series since Daytona.
Yeah, definitely.
This weekend. So, Johnny Sauter pilots his Allegiant Airlines Chevy Silverado to victory after Noah Gragson made a bonehead move, which, you know, thinking about it in layman's terms, it's not...
Going for the win.
He's going for the win. It's not so boneheaded looking back at it. But
although he did smash Yeah, he hit that wall a ton. And I don't know if you've seen it on the replay, but it looks like the truck almost went up and over the wall on it. It was damn close to it. So that was a hell of a battle, though.
Noah did the only thing he probably could have done in that type of situation. And thank you, Tony, for agreeing that the Cup guys shouldn't be in those races. It's exactly the developmental races. These are training these guys to get in and ready to be in the Cup Series.
For when they do step up to the plate, for when it is their time to shine in the big Cup level.
Exactly.
I mean, like we said in the past episodes, we understand why the Cup guys are in it for sponsorships. But look at the quality of racing. The Truck Series and the Xfinity races were better than the Sunday race.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about that. The thing that got me was, Ryan, this race started at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Was over by, I think, 7:10. That needs to happen more with the Truck Series.
Yeah. 2-hour race.
And get it done early. You know?
I think that's cool, though. If imagine, like they do it here at MIS, the Friday you got the Xfinity and the Cup guys, and then you have the ARCA cars race later that evening, like at 5 o'clock, and it's about a 2-hour race.
I think qualifying for the Cup Series was done on Friday by what, 3-4 o'clock?
4 o'clock, and then they did the pre-race ceremonies, the driver intros, the invocation, the anthem, and then they did the truck race, which was fun to watch.
That's a perfect way to do it. Get it done early.
Actually, I was getting my phone during the truck race, but I went over it late Friday night. I skimmed through it, and I'm entertaining, very entertaining.
Oh, it was a great race. I mean, you had battles all over the track, and the best battle that wasn't for the win was probably the David Gilliland, Todd Gilliland battle.
Oh yeah, father-son battle.
Father teaching son, and then son teaching father on a couple moves. It's great seeing that kind of racing again.
Exactly. It's what the sports needs is the battles, not only for the lead, but in the back. Guys fighting to get their lap back, to get on that lucky dog. You've seen, like you said, battles all over the track.
And it was also the big thing about not having Cup guys in it so much is we hear names that we don't normally hear. Like we had Jesse Little battling Johnny Sauter for a good part of 20-25 laps.
Jesse Little.
Stage 2, I think it was.
He's got the same hair as his dad, too. I've noticed that.
Doesn't he? And son of Chad Little, for those that don't know.
Good old Chad Little to drive the 97 John Deere Ford for Jack Roush.
That is correct. I thought
my little thumb up.
I thought he ran a great race with Sauter. And the funny thing with that, how many wrecks did Sauter have to avoid in front of him?
Quite a bit. And
it was Jordan Anderson twice, I think.
Casual Friday afternoon drive. Oh no, there's a truck in front of me. Evasive action. That happened Sunday with the Derek Cope crash, where they had the on board of Austin Dillon and he swerved out of the way. It's like, go high, go high. Oh no, oops! Because everything normally a wreck at Dover, everything goes down to the bottom of the track because everywhere's banked. Not this wreck.
No, not at all. Tony says he'd watch more races if they were shorter. I think that's the case for a lot of fans.
We've all said in the past, 1.5 mile tracks should not be 500-mile races. Only the Coca-Cola 600, and that's it.
Yeah, but even that's a long day. Keep it the way it is because I like the originality of it. But that is a long race. I've been to one. I think you've been to one too. It is one of the longer. It's a long time sitting in those seats.
You know, it's something, too, because the year I went to the 600 was the year Earnhardt passed. And we get there, we get to the track at about 11:30, check out the area. We were there for the, back then, the Busch race for a little bit, and we left early. My dad wanted to get the feel for the track, parking, everything like that. So we're there for the 600. We get there early. We're walking around, met Harry Gant, race starts. It was over just like that, the snap of the fingers. It felt like to me, like just because it was such a great time, people all around us were cool as hell. It just seemed like it flew by. But you watch him on TV, not so much.
No, and after Memorial Day eating, for some people that celebrate it on Sunday, like my family does it, it's, I'm not going to lie, there are some parts of that race when you're watching it at home that it is sleepy time.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially if you wake up at 6 a.m. to watch the Monaco Grand Prix or Grand Prix of Monaco.
Oh, yes. I'll catch the replay for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Memorial Day weekend we'll be up in Houghton Lake, hence why I got the shirt on, visiting your parents and my dad, and then we watched the 600 together, which is always a good time. Cheryl falls asleep.
The greatest bozos you've ever seen, Tony. He puts in there, total side note, my boss looked at the phone and asked, who were these two bozos you're watching?
Oh, thanks. What's up? Up, Tony's boss. That's right.
So just a little breakdown of this. Johnny Sauter led 137 of 210 laps, that's domination at its finest. That's Harvicking.
Yes, it is.
Domination. But Noah Gragson led 60, so between two drivers, you led 95% of the race.
Yep.
And it's the same two guys that we've been talking about all season long.
Yep. And I think those two are going to come down to the championship 8 years in.
I believe it will, too.
I may throw one other guy in there, Brett Moffitt.
Yeah. Yeah, Moffitt will be in there, too.
I'm good. And then, man, as your fourth guy, I don't know. It's a toss-up.
You know, I'm trying to think of who it would be. I got to look through the field. I got to look through the standings, real quick. I got it right in front of me, actually.
I mean, you can put Crafton always as a KG veteran.
Crafton, for sure.
Question in the chat. First of all, Patrick said the month of May is one of the best. Sauter's good, real good. And then we got a question here. Do you think Jimmy Johnson will win?
Yes.
I do too.
Not 100%. Weekend, but yes, he'll win this season.
Yeah, not this weekend. I think he's going to win June 10th out at Michigan International Speedway.
I'd take Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte's going. I'm getting a dirty look from my wife here because she thinks that he's not going to win a race.
So, there you go. Get thrown in the doghouse, Ryan.
She takes after me. My team's not doing good. Oh, they're not going to win again. They're never going to win this, that, the other thing. She takes after me.
So, we mentioned earlier Stuart Friesen had some trouble. There you go. Nice pick, Ryan.
Yeah. Woo!
Anyone that Ryan picks in any series besides Cup is in trouble.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's rewind the clocks here. Richmond. Who did I pick for the Xfinity race? Christopher Bell. But after you picked him, Constant. So,
Okay, you got one. You got one out of 26 episodes we've done.
Yeah.
26 episodes. So, your stage winners, Noah Gragson, Johnny Sauter, and Johnny Sauter, stages 1, 2, and eventual race winner in stage 3. Your top 5, Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, Justin Haley, David Gilliland, and Harrison Burton. Great run by Harrison Burton.
It was.
Out of your notable finishers, how great was it to see Front Row Joe finishing 7th?
That was pretty cool to see. I always laugh at that nickname. He got one pole, and everybody's calling him, hey, Front Row Joe. Kept with it.
Once. Awesome dude.
Yeah, I've met him too. He's a great guy. Very, very friendly.
You had Jesse Little finishing 9th, like we were talking about earlier. Just a great run for a team that is pretty much low budget, although most Truck Series teams are low budget, but this would be in the lower end of it.
I mean, Thor Sport is always a top-tier team.
Yeah. 10th, Todd Gilliland. We mentioned David Gilliland finishing 4th, and his son, Todd, finishing 10th. I should have just went out with the top 10 there.
Oh, yeah.
So, moving on. Oh, not moving on. We got to get through the standings here. Your standings, Johnny Sauter, Ben Rhodes, Noah Gragson, Brett Moffitt, Grant Enfinger, Matt Crafton, Justin Haley, and Myatt Snyder. And your next race is this Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern from Kansas on FS1.
That's a Friday night affair.
Friday night and the Cup race Saturday. No Xfinity.
No, Xfinity's off, I think, 2 straight weekends.
Yeah, three. They don't come back till Charlotte.
Yes, because you got the All-Star. You got the All-Star race. I think the trucks are that Friday.
Yeah, I think they're all in action because it's so close to home for most of them.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the Xfinity Series. This, to me, was the second best race of the weekend.
My first.
And Justin Allgaier beats JRM teammate Elliott Sadler for the Dash for Cash and the win at Dover.
Elliott was right there. He even said, because they brought him into the Hollywood Hotel, they asked him if he could have done anything different. He was like, well, if it wasn't my teammate, I'd have wrecked him. Because it was a teammate and everything like that. I mean, he went for the win. Only the movie could do. Great finish. Awesome finish. Love watching it. Sarah and I got into it. It was pretty good to watch.
It was definitely an entertaining finish.
Yes, it was.
The race itself wasn't bad, but it really came down to those last 3 laps in that battle with Allgaier and Sadler. Really made the race.
Oh, of course.
And needless to say, it was a much closer finish than Sunday's race.
Oh, man, I thought Sunday's race was close. What are you talking about?
What was it, a 6-second margin on Sunday's
4.5. That was 4.5. 4.5, give or take.
So we mentioned in this race, Ryan, how we had a great finish and great racing all around the track. And another common denominator here, no Cup drivers.
I think we're setting a trend or something.
And hey, great Xfinity crowd for no Cup drivers.
Yes, it was.
So,
one of the, like you said, prior to Daytona, one of the better Xfinity crowds that we've seen.
Yeah, guys aren't wanting to see the veterans win in the minor leagues. You don't see this in any other sport. You don't see baseball players go down to the minor leagues just to put on a tear there because they can't do it in the MLB.
You don't see Ovechkin go down to, their minor league affiliate and go out and try to win a championship there. No.
100 assist season.
Put world records for having the most goals in the minor leagues. Oh, yeah. Yep. Patrick just what we got coming up in the news.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the news. It's kind of the thing that sucks about the Cup drivers going into the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series is they're counting it towards total NASCAR wins, which the record is 200 by Richard Petty, who only did it in one series because at the time they only had one series. So it kind of takes away to me from the actual achievement of it for a guy like Kyle Busch, who is close to 200, but he hasn't done it all in one series.
It's been in the trucks. I think he's got 100 Xfinity wins or something like that.
Like that. It takes away from the prestige of the achievement.
It does. I mean, yeah, still to win 200 races, it was still something special, but count it for Cup wins, not these, Xfinity truck races.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more with that.
You put a little asterisk next to it.
So, Johnny Sauter, filling in for Spencer Gallagher, finished 6th, and Noah Gragson finished 7th. That's pretty common.
Yeah, it was. Because now, I think it was Austin Dillon that said something about it on the broadcast. It's like, hey, these two, or no, it was Mikey. These guys were racing each other for the truck race yesterday, and they showed the replay of it of Gragson wrecking. Man, that's a tongue twister.
So last week I had said Ryan Siege is filling in for Spencer Gallagher, and let me just throw this in there.
Duh.
Okay, so I did a dumb move, didn't check my source when I was reading who it was from, and Ryan Siege himself was already in the Dash for Cash with the 39 car. So that was a bonehead move on my end. Speaking of boneheaded moves, Ryan Reed, twice.
Yeah. Who picked him?
Once with Noah Gragson, once with Alex LeBay. And I must say, the reaction he got on social media afterwards, it seemed like everyone was against him.
Always dark.
Great plate racer. And I saw this from somebody, I can't remember who it was, put it up there, whether it be on Facebook or Twitter. Ryan Reed is the Xfinity version of Trevor Bayne.
Could be.
And then I also saw some other things that I'm not going to say on here because it's we're going to try to keep it
PG.
Not keep it PG, but not going to throw anything on anybody that they can't control.
I get you.
So, pertaining to a sponsor, I guess would
Yeah.
be the best way to put it.
Yes.
But
I know what you mean.
yeah, he got into Gregson, sent Gregson around, then he got into LeBay, and LeBay went around. So just not smart racing.
We got a special guest in the background, Thor barking, so it's all good. It's all good. He gets excited and does this shake. Like there he goes again.
There
so
he goes.
Yeah, but we got like I said, we got a special guest. Hi, Thor. Yeah,
So
talking to my dog. He's talking racing with us.
He must be explaining his frustrations with the Cup race.
It must be.
This race, though, the Xfinity race was dominated by Sadler and Allgaier the entire race.
Oh yeah.
You know, JRM up front, where they've been every time an Xfinity race happens. You get your occasional Joe Gibbs driver in there, but it seems like JRM has found something in the Xfinity series, and they've turned into the Joe Gibbs of the Xfinity series.
They have.
So, I mean, it's good for me to see. I'm a junior fan, so.
I'm a junior fan too. Hey, why don't they bring the JRM up to the Cup level and see what happens?
I've been wanting that, man. I'm telling you, it needs to happen. You get a bunch of veterans with one or two young guys.
2 years.
You're saying 2 years?
2 years, at least 2 years. Maybe next year. All right. That's just in on the Lugs podcast, Junior Motorsports to compete in Cup next year. All right.
Don't make up fake news.
Wait. I thought I was CNN.
Your stage winners of this race, which, I mean, really, besides what we just talked about, there wasn't much more else other than the fact that it was great racing all around the track, which was a blessing for this weekend. Your stage winners, Stage 1, Elliott Sadler. Stage 2, Justin Allgaier. Stage 3, your eventual race winner, Justin Allgaier. Ryan, what were you going to say?
Just like the truck race, Gregson won the first one, Sadler won the first one, and then the eventual winner won the last two stages.
And it's going to be a little bit different when we get over to the Cup side of things, but...
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, man.
Notable finishers for this race, Ryan. 11th was Ryan Truex. 12th was Jeb Burton, and 15th was Michael Annett. I threw the Michael Annett in there because I didn't even do the top 5 yet. What am I doing?
Wow.
I'm just jumping ahead all over the place.
Well, we're getting excited for the top 5 now.
The top 5, Justin Allgaier, Elliott Sadler, Daniel Hemrick, Christopher Bell, and Tyler Reddick. So I put Michael Annett in my notable finishers at 15th because, man, for some reason, it just seems like that car doesn't have the same speed as the other 3 JRM cars have.
I don't know if it's the crew chief, what it is. Maybe the Annett car is the tester car for future races down the line.
I have no idea, and it's kind of sad to see because Michael Annett has had a couple races where he could have won.
Exactly.
Since being with JRM, and it's just, I don't know if he's getting like the Casey Kane treatment.
Oh.
With Hendrick, you can't give everybody top flight equipment.
It's funny now how you mentioned the Casey Kane treatment. I think they got all 4 of them cars now for the Hendrick on the same playing field.
Yeah, it seems like they're starting to come together too. And I actually want to mention that when we get more into the Dover race for the Cup side.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick to finish this off, your standings. Elliott Sadler, Justin Allgaier, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Daniel Hemrick, Cole Custer, Brandon Jones, not Eric Jones.
All right, yeah.
X, Spencer Gallagher, which won't be up there long.
No.
Matt Tiff, Ryan Reed, Austin Cindric. And your next race, May 26th, 3 weeks in Charlotte.
Yeah, 300-miler, too.
That it is. Long race.
Fun one to watch.
So moving on to the Monster Energy NASCAR Kevin Harvick Cup Series at Dover. Kevin Harvick dominates Dover and takes that Jimmy John's Ford right back to where it's been all season long, right in victory lane.
my question to ask you. Why did it take so long to get back into victory lane for the 4?
He felt nice. Felt like giving back to charity and letting other people win.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that car was dialed in when they had that rain delay with 80 to go. I'm like, because where they have a shot at it, they're looking down the front stretch, and I'm like, I told Sarah, I'm like, they're going to call this race. I mean, granted, yeah, 80 to go, quick dry, they probably get it in because the daylight 8 o'clock now, almost 9 o'clock. And I'm like, they may actually call this. If they lose their check, they actually may call it. And I'm shocked that they didn't. Kudos to NASCAR on that aspect of getting the fans their money's worth.
I don't know if they have the Air Titans because I was flipping back and forth between the Bruins game and the race. From what I saw, it was like in between periods, they dried the track and it was already back going. I was shocked.
I think Mike Joyce said on the broadcast it was like a 41-minute delay, which isn't bad. Mile and a half, that all it's out, like we said, it's all banked anywhere, so the water runs right down off that track. Just get a little air tighten on it. I was watching Twitter. I'm like, the broadcast, they give you information, but Twitter is where it's at. They give you so much information. Oh, the Air Titans are on. The Air Titans are on. They're getting the track dry. Should be getting in the car 5 minutes, 6 minutes from now. Sure as hell, car drivers back in the cars, and they made their final pit stop, and the rest is history.
I turned the Cup race back on after a whistle in the Bruins game, and I saw people going around with like their driver bags and stuff like that, and I'm like, what? Did they call the race?
Yeah.
The next camera shot, they're all back in the car. I'm like, oh, no way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it looked like the pit crew members were getting ready to get on out of Dover. All of a sudden, they had to get called back. They're coming back with their bags and everything. Like, oops.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mistake.
Mistake for sure. So these Harvick wins, Ryan. It's getting hard to write a show when Kevin Harvick just wins the same way every time.
Yeah. Wins all the stages.
It almost sounds like a repeated episode at this point.
Well, all right, guys. We will see you at the track. Have a good week.
So, Kevin Harvick leads 201 of 400 laps. 13 cars finished on the lead lap. Brad Keselowski seemed like he was the only guy to give anything to Harvick competition-wise this weekend. Led 108 laps.
Bad pit stop cost him at the final restart a chance to even see if he had anything for Harvick, like you said, because he was the only car out there that could.
But one person finally had his top 5 streak break, along with his drive shaft. Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Yeah, he mentioned it very early in the race that he had a vibration.
It was like 10 laps in.
Yeah, like 10 laps in, they go to Vince Welch, and he's like, they're complaining about a vibration, this, that, and the other thing. And next thing, I'm like,
He said something, how, was he pressing the clutch in the corners and he still felt it or something like that?
Yeah.
And that's how they knew it wasn't a tire, it was something else. Something had happened where they said it definitely wasn't a tire. Maybe
I remember
a pit stop.
Exactly. I remember messaging you. I'm like, well, the 18 finally blew up, and they showed a camera shot of the drive shaft right on the.
That was crazy.
Yeah, good thing nobody else hit that, man. That would have ruined their day for sure.
Yeah, that's a punctured radiator and a half.
Yep, flat tire, stuff like that. All good.
So, towards guys who had a good day, Ryan, what a start it was for Bowman after that caution that sent him back up to the front. He led the next, how many laps did he lead in that?
I think he led like 30-something, around 30, 35 laps.
I got the sheet, the race report sheet, what I go off of when I do this.
Well, at the beginning of the race, Larson, Bowman, and Dillon all had to go to the back because they failed the pre-race.
26 laps left.
Pre-race inspection, and they're doing breaking news. They did it on the broadcast. They're like, Larson to the rear, Bowman to the rear. Larson never recovered until the end.
No, but I mean, he rebounded well.
Oh, yeah, he rebounded very well.
But it was great to see Hendrick cars up front for once.
And Dylan didn't. I mean, I had to throw that out there.
All right.
I had to throw it out there. Come on now. You know it's funny.
I mean, like we said, though, the question was asked, do you think Jimmy Johnson will win? Well, someone had tweeted out to Jimmy Johnson after the race, I've been waiting since 2002 to say this. It's finally been a year since Jimmy Johnson has won a race. And Jimmy Johnson responds with, I hope you get a flat tire on your way to work tomorrow.
Seeing that, I laughed hysterical at that.
I thought that was great.
Speaking of Jimmy Johnson, it was it the Autism Speaks 400, I do believe is what it was?
Yeah, I saw this video you're about to talk about.
And he's meeting this young man. He's got a couple, signed. I'm sure they're signed. And this little kid sees Jimmy Johnson. He runs up to him. He gives him the biggest hug ever. And Jimmy was shocked by it. He gives him the hug back, and he got another hug from him. It was just so cool to see it like that. And then David Reagan had a couple kids in from the charity and his hauler right before the race and everything like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Drove him around the track during the driver intro. So that was definitely a family-friendly race weekend at Dover.
It was, like you said, it was awesome. It's awesome to see these guys come out of their element a little bit and give back, which they don't have to do. But it just seems every weekend you see another driver doing something cool for a fan. And it doesn't matter who it is. We've seen Kyle do it a couple times.
Yes.
What these drivers are doing right now are making fans for life. And that's what keeps the sport alive.
And I don't know if you noticed it when Harvick took got the checkered flag. There was a young man. He gave Harvick the checkered flag. Harvick gave him a high five, and the NASCAR official was right there, gave him a high five and all that. That's cool to see right there.
I think what some of these drivers know or are starting to learn is you're not trying to what's the word I'm looking for? You're not trying to accommodate the fan that's been there for years. You're trying to accommodate the fans that are just coming into it.
That want to be.
Well, the younger generation is going to keep the sport alive.
That they are.
So don't try to accommodate so much, the 20 to 50, 60-year-old range. Get that younger age, the 5 to 15-year-olds.
5 to 18, 5 to 19, somewhere like that.
But
I mean, it was cool too because we're talking about how cool the drivers are and all that. This is when Chris Buescher was racing in the Xfinity Series for Roush, and we're at the open house, and the drivers have been done for about 40 minutes, I'd say, but we're still walking around. Buescher's just standing there in the middle of the museum, just looking at it, and my buddy Ryan, his buddy Norm, walked up to him. He's like, "Hey, Chris, good job. Good luck this weekend." He's like, "Oh man, thanks." Norm started walking away, and Buescher's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I didn't think you wanted to be." Oh, he's like, "No, man, cool. It's day of BS." We talked to him for a good 45 to an hour right there, and then he's like, "Yeah, I gotta get, fortunately, guys, I'd love to chat, but I, gotta get out to the track and everything like that." And it was so cool, just talking about favorite tracks, what he likes to do on the free time and everything like that. It was so down to earth, man. It's what I love about NASCAR drivers.
They're so approachable. Would be the best word for it.
Exactly, and then you get people like, the person you did the rant on last week.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Anyway. So, Ryan, I must have missed this part of it because when they were scrolling through the ticker, I saw that Ryan Newman and Paul Menard were multiple laps down. What happened to them?
Something broke on Newman's car. I can't remember exactly what it was. And then something with the front end, I think it was, of Menard's car. So there was no crash damage, so they could have gone behind the wall, got back out on the track, and they did, and obviously cost them the race.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. So, mechanical issues, I should say, on both of them. So.
Yeah. There's certain points which now I'm not going to miss any parts of the race. Being because there's another pressing sport right now. playoff sport. So
The Celtics.
The Celtics, but they win when I don't watch. So I
So
usually don't watch.
There you go.
But I watched last night. Look what happened.
They lost.
Hey, there you go. So I'm not going to watch anymore.
What channel was that game on anyway?
TNT
Was that it?
Started at 6.
Oh, it was the early game.
The early game.
Yeah, because Toronto and Cleveland had the 6 o'clock game on ESPN. I'm like, why is this game starting at 6 in Toronto? I'm like,
I guess they
crazy.
Get the games out of the way. I have no idea.
I just don't understand why they don't do it like hockey. Have one Eastern, one Western, one Eastern, one Western.
Yeah,
back to I don't know. I just don't understand that.
Getting back to the sport at hand, Ryan. Cody Ware had a hard hit.
That he did. Very hard hit.
He blew a tire, and when he hit the wall, he didn't hit the back end of the wall, but it just looked like he completely caved in the back tail of his car.
Yeah, it did.
It was just one of those weird impacts.
Exactly. And then the Derek Cope crash, like I said, we were talking about earlier, that was a hard hit too.
Yeah, they were mentioning that Derek Cope had won that race back in like the 70s.
Uh-huh. Well, he also won a Daytona 500 too, so.
Yeah, well, if Earnhardt doesn't blow a tire, I don't think he
Well, duh, of course.
So, Clint Boyer was doing a rain dance once the rain came.
Yeah, the best was the audio from the car. They're like, he's like, you guys better be doing a damn rain dance right now. And they show the pit crew guys. Some of them are dancing and all that. They're like, the crew chief is like, Chad Johnson's like, yeah, we're doing the rain dance for you right now there, Clint.
I don't
He's
know
like, good.
I forget how many races it was now that the streak was for Boyer. But he goes that long without a win and then gets 2 wins in 1 year.
Hey, he's in
That's
good equipment, man.
in Boyerville.
It is. And it's funny, too, in the interview, they're talking about Matt Yoakum was interviewing Boyer because, they're talking about golf swings. They did another charity thing Thursday for Autism Speaks. I forgot what it was for. They just did a charity golf outing, and they had Patrick Reed, the Masters champion there.
Was he wearing the green jacket?
He was wearing the green jacket, yes.
Of course he was. He hasn't taken it off yet. That thing's got a reek.
Oh, it probably take it off every now and again, I hope.
No, he sleeps in it, guaranteed.
Maybe shower in it, too. I don't know, so. If I want a green jacket, I'd take a shower in the damn thing, so. But, they're talking about Boyer's golf swing and all that, because earlier in the pre-race, they showed Kyle Larson do a swing, and he shanked it, I think more than 10 yards, but it went right to his right, and they showed Boyer swing, and they're talking about how Harvick's got the golf course in his backyard, or the par 3 in his backyard, and I'm like, I'm just enjoying the conversation that these two are having with each other about golf. Like, racing wasn't even on their mind, and then Yoakum was like, okay, we got to talk about the car, because him and Harvick, since they were teammates at Childress, back and forth and all that. It's like, hey, I'm faster than you. I'm faster than you. And so if the rain happened, Boyer would have had one up on Harvick with the win. So
I really thought when I saw the rain come that it was it. I
did too.
And honestly, I was happy for Boyer because I don't care if it's rain shortened.
What, it came out with 80 to go?
Yeah, it was like 86 laps to go.
I ran over 300 miles.
It's more than what the Daytona 500 was that 1 year.
That was.
So, this is where we were talking about earlier, Ryan, with what we thought of the Cup race. It was pretty slow.
What?
Not much passing going on.
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, there was no real decent battles that I can remember on track.
Not really.
Maybe the restarts were about as entertaining as it got. Just really slow. It lacked that dramatic feel to it.
Yeah, I know there were people on both Fox and NBC's Facebook pages. There, people are like, "I'm tired of the stages. I'm tired of the stages." It's basically people are calling it. It's coming down to the stages. Is what it sounds like. Why everybody thinks these races aren't entertaining. But guess what? The stages have been here for 2 years. They're here.
Unfortunately, Ryan, Last year I was a real big downer on the stage racing. I think if you don't have stage racing, Harvick's lapping more than all but 12 cars.
Oh, I think there's only 3 or 4 cars left on the lead lap if it's not for stages.
So this is one of those seasons where I feel like stage racing is helping.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's bunching the field back up. It's giving people that may have a good car, but they had a bad pit stop, the air gun. We haven't heard about that lately, have we?
No, we haven't.
Maybe they finally fixed it. So, well, like I said, I'm glad they're stage racing. And I put the message out there. I'm like, people, if you don't like the stages, what are you going to do? Stop watching?
Yeah. There's really not much you can do at that point.
Exactly. Like I said, like you said, it's keeping these guys on the lead lap. Because like you said, there's only 13 on the lead lap at the end of this race?
No. I think it was 14.
13 or 14 cars?
13 cars.
13 cars. He would have lapped almost the entire field.
I agree with you. All right. Your stage winners, Kevin Harvick, and...
Wait, let me guess.
Go ahead.
Kevin Harvick.
No, right.
Oh, man. Man. I got it right. I did it.
Kevin Harvick is...
Dominant.
I like Harvick, but I hate seeing so much dominance going on. I want somebody new.
We need to get more winners. It's just Harvick's won 4, Kyle's won 3. There's 7 races right there. Where
There's
2 guys
9 races, right?
Some Boyer, Logano at Talladega, Dillon at Daytona, and Truex at California.
Like Patrick just said, stage racing is challenging for everybody.
Yep.
And yeah, skip that one.
That's a good one. I guess I should share that. That's pretty funny. I enjoyed that.
So, wow. Top 5. Kevin Harvick.
That's very great.
Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Daniel Suarez. Great run by Suarez.
Especially with the broken thumb. The visor cam they had on him. Did you not see that shaking all over? And I'm like, so people think they can race. They can just jump and race a car. Well, watch this. No, you cannot.
No. Nope. So, continue on with the top 5. Martin Truex Jr. and Kurt Busch round out the top 5.
Yeah, good run for Kurt. Good run for Stewart. Hey, how about Stewart Hassel in general? I think all their cars finished top 11. I think Almirola was 11th.
In my notable finishers, 8, Ryan Blaney, 11th, Eric Almirola, and 14th, William Byron. I threw 17th, Casey Kane in there. Great run by LFR Racing.
Hey, Ollie's car, too. That was a cool-looking car this weekend.
That it was. And
very nice. Ollie, so I thought it was cool.
And 35th, I had to do it because I'd never been able to do this as a notable finisher before. 35th, Kyle Busch. I was never able to do it before, so I'm going to take advantage of it now. So, Ryan, your standings here, and I want to add a key point to it after it.
All right.
Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Eric Almirola, Jimmy Johnson, Eric Jones, not Brandon Jones, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. round out your top 16. My point I want to make is last week, 17th was Austin Dillon. He dropped down to 19th this week.
Uh-oh. Well, Daytona's coming up in July, so.
Yeah, he'll win it.
They probably will.
So.
I don't know. I know why they got it. The whole, the stage points matter. Look at this. You've won a race. Okay, you're guaranteed your spot. How many stage points does he have as a whole this year, I wonder?
I'm curious as well. I don't think he got any last weekend.
I don't think it's a lot of points.
No,
If you
had
had
any last weekend.
something tells me that person's Polish.
I don't know. I had to hide it just because.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the whole point of the chat is,
I understand.
you know, keep it racing related. Don't be a dink. That's being.
I thought it was funny, but
not when we have like the chat displayed on our stream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean, but all good. Good.
Yeah, I had to do it. So your next race is Saturday, 8:00 Eastern, from Kansas on FS1, and this is the Kansas season debut. He's coming out of retirement this weekend.
That's
Did you say that's good?
That's gonna. I'm excited to see what he can do.
What if he finishes like top 10 first race?
Bye-bye, Trevor Payne.
Yeah, bye Trevor.
How about this? What about if he goes out there and wins?
What if he goes out there and wins the race?
What if he goes out there and wins the race?
I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd say Trevor lost his ride for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a guy at the Roush open house we went to, that apparently no matter what, Trevor's on for all the ad races.
Well, that's his big sponsor that he brought to the table. So, all right, Ryan, what do you say we get into some news?
Let's do it. We got some big news this weekend.
All right, this is called Tire Rub. Let's do it.
Left side. Pull this lever fender out, left side.
So as Patrick was saying before, the Truck Series is getting a new title sponsor in 2019. Camping World has expanded their partnership to include Gander Outdoors, so it'll now be known as the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series.
It's a mouthful, but I do like the name. Gander sounds pretty cool.
I thought it, just like you did, I thought it was a mouthful.
They'll find a way to abbreviate it, though.
Yeah, well, probably not. Look at Montreal NASCAR Cup Series.
Hey, they can't say NASCAR Sprint and Cup, NASCAR Series.
Yeah.
What account does NASCAR Cup Series? It doesn't say Monster.
Well, we might find out here in a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's a good move, expanding the sponsorship that's been around like Camping World for a couple of years now. It's going to help.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not changing names so often. The Truck Series only had 2 sponsors ever, Craftsman and now Camping World.
Yep. Camping World's done a great job of sponsoring the sport. Always see advertisements everywhere you go.
Yep.
Plus, there's a Camping World by my buddy Drew and Sean's house, or their apartment, like less than a mile.
Yeah, a couple by me as well. So, this story, Ryan, this next one, I didn't read too much into it when I heard it.
All right.
The France family may be selling NASCAR to the Goldman Sachs.
All right.
A recent story came out saying that they have no intentions of doing that anytime soon. But the fact that it's making the news rounds, I guess, is newsworthy to put in here. I just don't read much into it right now.
I don't read much into it right now, but maybe wait till the off season.
The off season is when you're going to find out more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true at all.
Now, here is my question I pose to you, AJ. Do you think the fans family is running scared because they see the attendance down, that they want to get out of the...
They're looking at it like they want to make a profit as quick as possible on it.
I agree 100%.
Now, you got to understand, there was a wave back when NASCAR dipped down this low in attendance. And then it picked back up again. We're just on one of those downward trends. I really do think it'll pick back up again.
I think we'll pick back up. You got to think, though, like we've said in the past, though, look at for a family of 4 to go to a race.
It's not cheap.
No. Plus hotels, all that. Hotels skyrocket those weekends. The hotel we stayed at in Bristol, I mean, yeah, it was still, a place to sleep and all that, but you're not there for more than just to sleep and, relax, at the end of the night.
Agreed.
they skyrocketed. I'm like, there's no way. And it was just like a Super 8, if I remember correctly. Something like that.
All right, so I hate these stories like this with the France family, because you don't know the truth behind it. You see everybody's making articles about it, but no real valuable source behind it.
So I was reading something on the bottom line. I sent you a message about it, but I caught it at the end of it. That it was just. I don't know if they're saying it's a rumor right now, but the France family is still in NASCAR 110%. Stuff like that is basically what it said. So
yeah.
we'll believe it when we see it.
Well, I couldn't hear you there. It chopped all out.
Would you be shocked if they sold it?
Would I be mad if they sold it?
Shocked.
Would I be shocked? No. No, maybe I would be shocked.
All right.
Because it's been in the France family since, the beginning of the existence of it, so.
Larry Mack said that yesterday on racing.
So maybe I would be a little bit shocked.
Oh, I would too.
So, we got some congratulations to give out.
You do?
Kyle Larson.
2 weeks. Yes, all right.
Kyle
Number
Larson,
2.
Daughter born. Number 2.
Well, I don't know if you heard at the end of the Cup race, they said they were going to have John Hunter Nemechek on standby to practice the car if she went into labor. But she was born yesterday.
Yeah, he's not even going to miss a weekend.
No, he's not even going to miss a week. He may miss some sleep, but he won't miss the race.
That's perfect timing.
That's Big Brother's pretty happy, so.
Yeah, I saw that picture that they had posted. It's pretty cool.
That's a cool picture.
So happy for
Man.
them. Congratulations.
Amy Earnhardt and now the Larsons.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
This one's a funny story.
Oh, yes.
So,
I kick out of it myself.
When in NASCAR, when you're suspended, it means that you can't take part in anything at the tracks, especially for what this gentleman was suspended for. If you all remember the story last week of Spencer Gallagher, he got suspended indefinitely for not passing the NASCAR wellness policy drug test. Well, Spencer decided that he was going to show up this week for the Charlotte test for the Xfinity Series, and NASCAR told him to politely leave.
Yeah, I guess somebody tried to interview him. He didn't want it. He declined. He politely declined the interview. But I guess they had a spokesman say that he took it very lightly. He even joked at himself about it, though.
What a bonehead.
I was laughing hysterical. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And I couldn't believe it. I really could not believe it.
Oh, my God. What an idiot. As Brett Griffin would say, what an idiot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think,
go ahead.
I guess where's the team at on this? Like, hey, Spencer, you're suspended.
Show up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe it was already. Maybe his agent told him to show up. I don't know.
Oh my God.
But I don't know. That was pretty funny. Because it was on NASCAR and NBC on their Facebook page, and what was I doing? I think I was just sitting on the couch, and I'm like, Spencer Gallagher shows up to Xfinity practice at Charlotte, even though he's suspended. Asked politely to leave. All right, let me read in this. I was laughing.
I want to know at what point they found him.
Maybe
told them, hey,
what are you doing here?
You can't be here.
Like, who's ready to run? Yeah.
All I can say, Ryan, all I can say. Apparently, he didn't pass the second wellness policy exam.
Oh, no, he did not. No, he did not. Man, yeah, let's show up and you're suspended. Oops.
At the end of the year, Ryan, I want to take a biggest bonehead of the year poll.
Ooh.
And at this point in the season, if that doesn't win, I don't know what does. Maybe Danica's State.
That's up there too.
But anyway, let's get into some social media. That does it for news this week. Let's go over some social media stuff. All right, so we are up to 476 downloads on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher, 183 followers on Twitter, 58 likes on Facebook, 18 subscribers on YouTube. We had a huge spike in followers when PTM posted the tweet of our giveaway that we're doing. Once we hit 200 followers, we're giving away the Daytona program package. And real quickly, I'm going to rattle off names of people who followed us. Joshua Reynolds, Josh Wade, Proof Silver, Earthwater Racing, a cup sponsor of the number 23. Stadium Scene,
Yep.
Lori, Greatest Beard Ever, great name. Motorsports Latest, Rain on Race Day, Tom, Lallamore, Jason Scow, Julie, Chemo Cup Series. Thank you all for the follow. It was great to see that big spike. Like, that was crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you, PTM, for giving us that shout out there. Thanks to everyone who's been giving us a shout out. It's helped
thank you.
immensely.
We love doing it. We hope everybody loves listening and watching.
You know, and everyone that we're about to mention here in our podcast shout outs are huge supporters of the show, helping us get the word out every week. They've been nothing but awesome. It truly is a racing family that we have here. So our shout outs include the Lap Traffic Podcast, PTM Podcast, the My Opinion Therefore Fact Podcast, the All Turns No Brakes Podcast, the Bump and Run Podcast, Right Sides Only Radio, the Motor Mouse and Criticast, NASCAR Opinion, and the Final Lap Weekly. Some places you can find us, right here on YouTube actually, where we're streaming on right now. You can hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It'll notify you every time we go live. You can also follow us on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, by searching the Loose Lugs Podcast. Twitter, we are at Lugs Podcast. I just mentioned the giveaway we're doing once we hit 200 followers. Not too far now. And on Facebook, we are the Loose Lugs Podcast. Our personals, myself, Grey Goose F150 on Twitter, and Ryan.
Our Rencola 88.
And we have now hit that point in the show where Ryan makes me laugh hysterically with one of his weekly rants. Ryan, take it away.
All right. Well, we can have a couple this week, and I could complain about Backlash and how bad it was for us wrestling fans in the group. Yeah, Backlash. Yeah, Badlash. You could call it that too. But no, it's the lack of competition this year. Still, it's like it's just getting to me. It really is getting to me right now. Like you said, between two drivers. There's 7 wins right there between 2 drivers. The playoffs are maybe all messed up because of this right now. Understand why they do it. These stage points do help everybody. AJ's trying not to laugh right now. I can see it right now. But like I said, I don't know if it's the car, what it is. I know there's people out there complaining. I know there's crew chiefs out there complaining. But come on, guys, like competition, I think is what's...
And we're back up. So, like you were saying, Ryan, I don't think it's so much of the car. I just think we're finally finding out who the class of the field is.
I mean, there's going to be that fluke win, Daytona. But there's going to be that fluke win in there somewhere. So, like I don't know, maybe a fuel mileage win. Case in point, Ryan Newman last year at Phoenix, great call by the pit crew, keep him out. He wins the race, makes it into the playoffs.
Yeah, you're going to have those fuel mileage wins, I think, coming up here. Kansas being one of them.
Michigan.
Charlotte being one of them. The road courses always seem to come down to a fuel mileage gamble.
Yep.
So.
And by the way, I have the countdown clock on. We are 5 Sundays. I do believe from this Sunday, where Sarah and I will be at MIS, cheering on the 24, actually the whole 100 Brigade, I should say.
Yeah, what about the 9?
I said the whole 100 Brigade. Yes, I'll be cheering on Chase too. But speaking of which, our good friend Jeff was out at the Speedway yesterday and today, and you saw the pictures, right?
I did not.
He sent them as the group message. I think you were in there still.
No,
at least I thought you were. All right. But they got rid of between turn 1 and 2. MIS, you got that little gap between stands, and you got the two. There's another set of stands. But they got rid of a whole section of grandstands to set up a luxury campground right by turn 1 and 2. And so they got rid of a lot more seating out now at the Speedway.
I just saw a picture that Jeff commented on the track today. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, he was on the track, and then there's a picture of the grandstands they got rid of. The majority of the grandstands over there.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah. That he was on the track and all that. Driving a big rig on the track.
Well, since we're speaking of Kansas now.
Yep, it's that time.
It's that time to get into our predictions. Let's get into the white flag.
Tight, keep looking the mirrors. In line with you, coming to the white. Only 2.
All right, so as Ryan waves the imaginary white flag there.
Thank you, AJ.
The Truck Series, Ryan, Friday, under the lights, who do you got?
Matt Crafton.
You're taking the 88. I'm taking Noah Gragson in the 18. He's going to rebound this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Good pick.
All right, going to the Cup Series now, Ryan. I am taking the 78 of Martin Truex Jr.
Okay. And your sleeper?
The number 12 of Ryan Blaney.
Okay. I'm going to go the 22 of Joey Logano. My sleeper, Matt Kenseth.
Wow.
Yep.
If he wins, he's not a sleeper.
But I still would have done good in the pick-em.
It doesn't count if he wins now.
My thing is, he's coming back. He's pissed off at Joe Gibbs Racing for letting him go. Understanding now that there's a youth movement in the sport. But he's going to come back and show these guys, hey, this is what you're missing out on right now.
He's going to wreck Eric Jones as soon as he gets to him. No, he won't. It's a joke, Ryan.
You never know. Hey, he did wreck Joey at Martinsville.
Joey deserved it.
Oh, that was hard racing. That was hard racing with the whole Logano thing. That was hard racing.
Well, I mean, you have a good pick there with Logano because Logano seems to Kansas seems to be one of his tracks he does very well at.
Mm-hmm. I was going to pick Jimmy Johnson until he finally won, but I can't do that. So,
well, I picked Truex because Kansas the last 2 years he seemed to have won a couple. He hasn't seemed to have won a couple races. He has won a couple races there, but he just is so dominant when he gets these 1.5 miles. I'm just going to stick with Truex here. I think it's a safe pick. And then Ryan Blaney finished 4th last year in this race, and that was with the Wood Brothers. I'm going to take him here as a sleeper.
So we got 2 Penske cars.
That we do.
I'm surprised none of us took Kevin Harvick.
No, not taking Harvick here.
It's a safe bet, though.
It's always a safe bet when you pick Harvick this year.
He's my sleeper pick.
So
sleeper.
Well, speaking of sleepers, how about we get on out of here?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you to everyone that showed up tonight, tuned into us live, and commented with us. Tony, Patrick, everyone else who didn't say anything but still came in and listened to us. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to all our new followers. Thank you to all the podcasts that have been helping us out. And it's time for Kansas, Ryan. So let's get with it.
Saturday night under the lights, guys. I hope everybody has a great week. Hopefully my situation I'm going through works itself out. Just if everybody could say a little prayer, to my family, please. Guys, we will see you all at the racetrack.
We're in Kansas. You know what that means. Time to get some good barbecue and some good racing.
That's right.
All right.
Duh.
Does the long run just be